Engaging Vodar archives. Begin new entry. Ever since I was a fledgling, I have always sought knowledge for the betterment of myself and my people. Every step I took was a step towards this goal, even as I served in the Covenant. Their treachery left me stunted, but undeterred, even as my body was broken due to the death rattles that are its remaining followers. Thankfully, I now loyally serve the noble Kaidan, Nakai Vodar. The years under his service have been a great boon unto me, as his wise rule has allowed my ideas to flourish. This eve is the anniversary for my service for Vodar, and to honor the occasion, I shall now gift unto my comrades the historical data of Drakle Keep and its unorthodox practices. Sanghelios was a world drenched with superstition when it came to revering the Forerunners. It was a universal rule to never attempt to bend the creations of gods to a mortal's will. Those who committed such blasphemy were either met with execution or banishment. However, one individual saw potential in working with the Forerunner instruments. A Sangheili by the name of Zekra believed the instruments of the gods were needed to be wielded as blessed weapons and spectacular shields, for Vardma was enduring the wrath of inter-clan wars. Throughout this conflict, Zekra and his kinsmen watched as their lands were razed, their citizens bloodied by warlords with no effective means of resistance. Zekra was forced to endure the agonizing pain of his inaction. All that was on his mind was the thought of saving his clanmates via the miracles the gods could provide. Years passed as his internal struggle ate at his very soul, and with no other options, he acted. He sought like-minded Sangheili among his clan, and found a coalition led by a few of the elders. They too saw their keep crumbling around them, and had even started to try and construct new tools of war. Zekra aided them by composing ideas for what they could create. Alas, their work would never be finished, for the Elder Council had been suspicious of their fellows for quite some time, and caught them as they partook in their heresy. Their punishment was simple: execution for all involved. Before his fate was decreed, Zekra was saved. His mother, Shola, could not stand by as her son was to be killed. She orated to the elders that her son had not yet touched the Forerunner's divine instruments. She surmised that the heretics must have twisted his ideas to incorporate the blessed technology, and as such did not deserve death. Instead, she pleaded for the banishment of her son. The council deliberated and agreed with Shola's case. Zekra was exiled and his clan name taken. During his banishment, Zekra wandered the continent of Vardma. With his travels, he discovered other Sangheili who were left to wander as he did. They were the remaining populations of keeps that had been captured or destroyed with the ongoing war. The lost and downtrodden slowly gathered with Zekra, and in time they formed a nomadic clan. Within this clan, he would teach his most trusted comrades his ways of science. After 3 years of scraping by, Zekra and his followers discovered a land to call home. The western shore of this new land was a magnificent beach. The sand itself looked like it was made of pearls. Its eastern and southern border had towering cliffs, serving as a shield from nature itself. A mighty river split this cove in two. The terrain rose near the center of the northern half, where several large boulders decorated the rolling hills. The southern half was home to a luscious forest, the trees bearing fruit and the undergrowth populated with indigenous wildlife. While it was a natural beauty, the ultimate factor that drew Zekra and his nomads to this land was a lone Forerunner spire its walls nearly consumed by the plant life and its foundations covered by boulders. As they began to settle, Zekra sent out scouting parties to hunt for food. One of the hunting parties halted when they saw another Sangheili, a female. When this mysterious local noticed the hunters, she seemed to disappear before their very eyes. They returned to their leader to bring the news, but before they could even speak, they were struck down by a gout of flame. That is when the female revealed herself to Zekra. Her name was Dexy, and she warned the nomads that if they did not leave her territory, she would curse them with destruction. Zekra attempted diplomacy with Dexy, but she faded away, leaving behind the ravaged corpses of the hunters as a warning. Zekra, however, was stubborn and told his people not to fear her, for they had endured the loss of their birthlands. They had been cast out again and again. This was going to be their home, and with Sangheili courage, they would stand against her threats. That night, however, Dexy called upon archaic powers and summoned from the darkest pit of the sea a mighty beast. It was said to have 2 mighty heads, which were decorated by 3 spikes that slithered along its head to protect a cycloptic eye. Each head sat upon its own elongated neck, conjoined to a serpentine body and tail. Unlike a serpent, however, the sea beast allegedly had 2 massive forelegs that could be used to drag itself onto land. Silver scales held back a mysterious green glow within its chest. After bringing forth devastation on the settlers, it was named Drimzakan. Each time any Sangheili tried to venture out of the Forerunner spire, or if anything was constructed, whether it be in the trees or upon the beach, Drimzakan would rise from the depths and destroy all in its path. Soon Zekra knew the amphibious abomination would wipe out his newly created clan. So he armed himself with nothing but a quarterstaff and spent 3 weeks searching for the summoner's hut. Once he had found Dexy, he confronted her, not with battle, but with words. For another week, the 2 Sangheili debated and developed a pact. Dexy and Zekra both returned, and so they settled on a name for this newly created keep, Dra'kel. Over time, Dexy and Zekra developed a bond that would flourish into marriage. Due to the warring clans focusing on more tangible rewards of conquest or the defense of their lands from opposing keeps, Dra'kel was relatively untouched. However, when news spread of this heretical keep that dared defile the Forerunner's creations, a handful of Kaidons were outraged by this. A zealous Kaidan, Yepo Hafam, decided to personally destroy Dra'kel Keep. He gathered a fleet of 100 ships and nearly 1,000 warriors to eliminate Dra'kel. However, the moment Hafam's fleet entered the harbor, Dexy called to the ocean and reawakened Drimzakan. The ancient enemy of Dra'kel was now its protector. From that day forth, no Sangheili was willing to attack the keep of Dra'kel out of fear of awakening Drimzakan's wrath. But over time, Dra'kel opened its borders for trade and repair. This decision was made to ensure that fear was not the sole reason they were able to survive. After the attempted invasion, Dexy and Zekra would sire 8 children. For centuries, Dra'kel kept to itself, slowly building their understanding of science and sharing their knowledge with those who would listen, like the northern keep of Vodar, who never wholly kept to the faith in the Forerunners. Instead, we looked to the light of the old gods, to the divine wisdom of Jori. When my people finally took to the stars, the brilliant minds of Dra'kel ascended to the heavens and helped explore. Alas, peace would not last forever. For once the Sangheili clashed with the Sanshayum in the War of Beginnings, the current Kaidan of Dra'kel, Rola Drakle, began to start developing plasma weaponry, like many other scientists in those dark times. Dra'kel's doors were open to scientists, for we would happily aid those who had the willpower to defy tradition and compose advanced weaponry. In this war, our people needed any advantage we could acquire, as the Sanshayum worms slithered closer to Sanghelios. Our ancestors were forced to bear witness to the dreadnought as it ravaged world after world. The malevolent wretches pushed closer and closer towards Sanghelios, and in an attempt to preserve their species, Rola and his fellow scientists stood before the ancient council of city-states to present their newest creations, plasma weaponry. Weaponry that could hopefully turn the tide. But alas, their new weapons were late in entering the fold, and the Sangheili people were forced to capitulate and sign the writ of union. And so the Covenant was birthed. Those within Dra'kel were excited by the alliance, not due to faith, but by the idea of expanding their knowledge to forever abandon the dogma of never studying holy relics was something Rola himself hadn't dared to dream of in his entire rule, and thus attempted to work closely with the prophets. However, in order to even approach the Sanshayum researchers, it was imperative that forerunner relics had to be relinquished, and the furthering of our own knowledge was under heavy restrictions. Such a price was paid by my ancestors in their desperation to try and unlock the secrets of the gods. To be so closely associated with the prophets must have meant favor. However, now, I wonder if I should still be proud of the ancient alliance, or if I should be shamed. In the Covenant's lifetime, many brilliant minds had arisen from Dra'kel. However, such minds were funneled into military research and construction, rather than other fields of study. We did, however, earn some recognition, thanks to my forebear, Visa Drakle, and his deed of rescuing the Minister of Insolence, Pert Monstu. Visa Drakle was a locust pilot in the year 2196. His excavation team was showing off the discovery of a forerunner temple embedded within a mountain on the Yanmei colony of Kaskin Earth to the minister. As they approached the holy temple, the ground itself began to quake, shaking the dig site and causing a massive cave-in. This left the Sanshayum trapped, along with Visa. Luckily, Visa managed to uncover a locust in the rubble, and with his knowledge of such vehicles, he was able to repair it. With the locust as his implement, Visa was able to carve a path to freedom, and was able to aid the minister escape the grim fate of being buried alive. For his act of valor, Minister Monstu granted Visa the honor of developing the next model of locusts in that age. Although the sons of Dra'kel are clever, none of us could have predicted the breaking of the Covenant. The Great Schism left Dra'kel afraid and confused. We had trusted the Sanshayum the most, giving our minds and faith to the sacred promissory to help all who walk the path ascend. And how did the prophets repay us for our loyalty? They repaid us with regression and attempted genocide. Where we once prided ourselves on our alliance with the Sanshayum, we are left with disdain and mistrust, much like in the days of Zekra and his birth clan. After the ruination of the hegemony, Dra'kel has entered an alliance with the Swords of Sanghelios, and we are slowly regaining what we lost and rediscovering our ancient history. With decks now flowing into our hands, we are able to enter a renaissance for the Sangheili. We are no longer restricted. Our creativity can finally flourish in a brave new galaxy, and our alliance with humanity is but a taste of what we can do. Human technology spliced with Sangheili technology can produce such wonders. But now that freedom is being threatened by the machinations of the created, we will have peace and we will burn these foul constructs for their attempts to shackle us once more. To win this new war will require the physical prowess of warriors, but we will also need the wisdom of Zekra's lineage and the unpredictability of Dexy. This concludes my recording. Now you can see that the Sangheili are not only mighty warriors, but clever creators as well. Troll! What are you doing? How did you even pick up that assault cannon? I am so sorry for this sudden outro, but I have a situation in my laboratory. May Jory's light gift you wisdom.